Welcome to the MattyRocks experience and On the Road with MattyRocks, on location at the beautiful Gander Outdoors in Wausau, Wisconsin, joined with special guest, store manager of this store and professional fish angler, Mr. Tom Keenan.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for joining me today.
Anytime.
Normally it's musicians and rock stars that I'm sitting with, but today you're my rock star.
I'm honored.
And today marks the history that this was the first MattyRocks interview that I would have done in the fishing environment. So thanks again for...
That's awesome. Anytime.
Right on. Tom, you've been out on the water of recent. You fished a couple tournaments this year already. What have some of the experiences been from some of those tournaments that you fished already this year?
Obviously, I've been fishing forever. I fished 3 tournaments so far this year. I did very good on Lake Winnebago. I took 6th place. I led it on day 1, 166 boats. I was in first prize on day 1. But it's been a great year so far. I fished 3 so far. I'm in 2nd place for Angle of the Year. I've won about $35,000 in 3 events so far. So it's been a good start, but obviously it's never over till it's over. And we got one last tournament, 2nd week of September in Devil's Lake, North Dakota. And I need to do very good there. I'm chasing down a hell of an angler and I got to catch him.
Right on. Who is that angler?
He's Brett King. He's been on fire the last 2 years. He's currently the Angle of the Year and he's leading it again. I need to dethrone him one notch, but he's a heck of a fisherman.
And you're currently 2nd place, right?
I'm in 2nd place right now for Angle of the Year.
Right on. How do they determine that?
It's based off of points. So at the first tournament, for example, if you take 1st place, you get 200 points. If you take 2nd, you get 199. If you take 3rd, 198. Just keeps trickling down that way. So it's based off of finishes. I got a 6th, an 18th, and a 19th so far this year. So I've accumulated a lot of points with 1 to go.
Very nice. Good. Very nice. Tom, a lot of events going on, a lot of things happening in the world of Gander Outdoors. What have been some of the highlights from your actual location here at this store of recent?
Recently, obviously, we brought in RVs to the building, and the business has been crazy in a good way and a bad way. Crazy, I got to work a lot more, but good in a way. We've brought a lot of new customers in. Business is good. Our RV sales team is doing very well selling them. Very well perceived by the community and a lot of high fives by the community. So we're doing very well in that business.
Very nice. Tom, if you would, take MattyRocks listeners back to the early years of your life in Rapid River, Michigan, and give us some insight to how fishing came into your life.
I grew up in Upper Michigan. We moved there in 1972. I was 3 years old, and I was born and raised right on Little Bitty Knock, one of the greatest walleye fisheries in the world. My dad was not a very good fisherman, but he always provided my brother and I the equipment to do it. And I got hooked at fishing at a very young age. My grandpa took me a lot. My brother took me a lot, and it just multiplied and multiplied. And I fished my first tournament in 1989 right in front of my hometown where I grew up. My brother and I took 2nd place. We won $16,000. I got $8 grand of that. I was a poor college kid. And from that point forward, I said, this is just something I want to do. And I've pursued it for 30 years now.
Right on. What were some of the things early on in your life that you did in fishing to help prepare you for where you are today as a professional fish angler?
I think the biggest thing is time on the water. It's irreplaceable. The more you fish, I don't care if it's bass, walleye, steelhead, trout, whatever. Just get on the water and go fishing, and you kind of learn how to adapt to certain environments, and that's what's happened for me. I fish everything. I love just to go fishing. Me, you can go bluegill fishing. It's fun. I can go salmon fish. It's fun. Right. And that's what I try to tell people every single day. Especially because take kids fishing, just take them fishing. Just take kids fishing and let them go catch a fish or let them experience what we experience. And that just hopefully will lead to some other kid filling my shoes down the road. I really hope it does.
Absolutely. That's what my son keeps saying. Dad, take me fishing.
Anytime. I'll take you fishing anytime.
Right
That's what life's about. I mean, life's about having fun and, fishing. Hell, I'm 50 years old now. I've been doing this for 30 years. I can't believe how fast it's went away, but great sport. I mean, it's fun, it's challenging, and it's competitive.
Right on. Tom, who were some of the earlier influences in fishing that helped shape to make you the great angler that you are today?
I'd give obviously the biggest influence I give obviously my dad, my brother both obviously took me. My grandpa was a very good fisherman for his time, but it's amazing. When I was a young kid, I watched Al Linder a lot. I was like a big Al Linder fan, and that was one of my 5 things on my bucket list I wanted to do. In about 8 years, I got to go fishing with Al Linder. Dream come true. I mean, the guy's a legend. He truly is a legend, and the opportunity to fish with Al Linder fulfilled one of my last things in my commitment to fishing.
Right on. Wow. That's a name in fishing right there.
He's the godfather. He really, truly is. He's the best of the best, and he's just a great human being and loves to fish, and he still has the attitude of about an 18-year-old when you go fishing with him. He's awesome.
Right on. You started your career with Gander Mountain back in 1992.
Yep.
Talk about that experience and how that all came to be for you to get into the retail environment.
It's funny because I graduated from college right in Oshkosh in 1992. I turned down a pretty good job to come work for Gander for $5 an hour as a part-time associate.
Wow.
My dad talked me into it, and the idea of it was, my dad told me, hey, give it 6 months. If you don't like it, do something else. So I tried it for 6 months, and one thing led to the other, and 27 and a half years later, I'm still here, but I managed it all. I started as a part-time fishing associate. I worked in every single department, and I love the passion of the sport. It's all about the sport. And, I don't care if you're a hunter, a fisherman, a camper, just get people to get outside, and that's what I live for. And that's the best part of my whole job.
Absolutely. In these 27 years, what do you think has been the key ingredient that has kept you going all this time?
I think energy. I'm a high energy guy. Thank God I don't drink Mountain Dew or anything. I'd really go off the rail. But I'm a very high energy guy. But my biggest passion, my favorite thing about my job is trying to help a mom, a dad, a kid who's never fished before or hunted before to try to get them involved in our sport. Help them with their first fishing pole, and try to give them a fist bump when they come back. Show me some pictures. Try to give them the best information you possibly can give them. Hopefully they go out and they're successful. The biggest thing it means to me is when a little kid comes back and he shows me his first deer he shot or the first big bass he caught, and that's awesome. That's really what revs my engine the most, more than anything.
Out of all those years, what would you say was one of the most challenging moments for you in retail?
Probably the first time we started our first Thanksgiving Black Friday event. I was used to being Thanksgiving kind of a really big thing with my family. It's not being that first deer. We used to always have Thanksgiving at our deer camp in Upper Michigan, which was pretty traditional in our family. The first time I missed that, it was awful. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Because that's a big thing with, my family. That's the biggest challenge in retail is basically you give up a lot. People don't know much what you sacrifice to do that. You work every weekend, you work a lot of holidays, you're constantly working long hours. But that's the benefit of the job too. It's actually fun to go out and talk to people involved in our sport. I always used to say, hey, I got to go back to work, but I get to go sell fishing stuff. I get to sell hunting stuff. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a pretty good gig. I went to college with a goal of never wearing a tie. I never wanted to wear a tie. Don't own a tie. Don't know how to tie a tie. Don't own one. And my goal was to teach people how to hunt and fish and not wear a tie. And that's what I did.
Wow. Good for you.
Pretty crazy dream, but it was my dream when I was a college kid. That's what I wanted to do.
Absolutely. What would you say in all these years of retail would be your biggest accomplishment?
Oh, God.
And I think I know there's probably a big accomplishment.
I got some pretty big accomplishments. I won Store of the Year a bunch of times. I'm currently one of the highest volume stores in our company. I've ran that title for a long time. But some of my biggest accomplishments, obviously being a store manager, I'm responsible, ATF responsibilities. You always help me with that. And I took that so seriously, almost too far. Like you're the same guy. You're the same guy. There's no gray area in that. It's black or it's white. And, I transfer a lot of guns in my name, had an FFL in my name. I'm going to be happy when that's gone. But, I took that so serious. It was crazy. That was my number one responsibility. And number two was to take care of my team. I led the company forever in the lowest turnover. I didn't care what my people did. I tried to help them. I understood that there was birthdays, there was parties, someone might get sick, something would happen. I understood that. And I sacrificed personally my own time to help people. I helped associates move. I borrowed kids' money to buy books to graduate from college. That never even got back. But it's the idea of this kid works his ass off for me. I'm going to help him. I'm going to help him. And no matter what it takes to win, once you find a good associate, you got to keep them. You got to keep them. When Gander went out of business in August of 2017, I had 12 people that had worked retail for more than 10 years for me. And to come tell those 12 people that didn't have a job, that broke my heart. I cried. I cried. I physically cried when I told them that. It's hard to say for someone so loyal to me and so dependent with me and them both, and it was a two-way street. Yeah, I'm going to miss that the most. I'm going to miss seeing customers that I love, that have been loyal to me forever, and my employees. That's the biggest miss.
Right on.
Yep.
This might actually play into the next question, but out of all those years, what is the fondest memory that you will take away from Gander, the Gander experience in all these years?
I would say probably the fondest memory for me would be, that's a tough one, but it's probably when I decided to leave a couple weeks ago. And when I addressed my team, that half of them were crying. That meant a lot to me. It really meant a lot to me. And that was the hardest part of my job was telling them that I'm leaving them. I've been so loyal to them, and they've been so loyal to me to tell them, hey, I'm not that guy anymore. And I just told them that it was time for change in Tom Keenan's life. He needed to reduce some stress in his life. And this is the stress removal, nothing against them. And when I walked out and saw some of my employees crying, that hurt. That hurt my feelings a lot. And I went home that day. I thought about it a lot. But, it's the right decision for me right now in the family.
Absolutely. Good for you.
Yep.
You've been blessed with many big endorsers throughout your years of fishing. Talk about some of the endorsers and what those relationships mean to you.
I will say my biggest endorser has always been my wife. She has always let me pursue my dream. And I gave up a lot. You know, I missed birthday parties. I missed the first communion. I missed some pretty big things when I was fishing for big money, but we understood why. It was worth a lot of money to me, and I pursued it highly. But, you know, the biggest thing, a lot of kids come in here, they're inspiring right now to become professional fishermen in the industry. I tell them, first thing, go get your college degree. You got to get a college degree. You got to be able to market yourself. This whole sport is about selling yourself to a St. Croix, for example, behind me. You have to be able to sell yourself, and that comes down, once you get in the door, if you're loyal to them, you take care of them, you respect them, you follow up with them is the biggest word.
Absolutely.
They will keep you forever. I've never lost a sponsor that I didn't choose to want to lose. You know, I've been very blessed to be sponsored by some of the biggest fishing industry in the world that pay me money to go fishing. Who pays you money to go fishing? That's crazy.
Right.
I get paid to go money by someone to represent them to go fishing. That's living the dream stuff right there. And I've been pretty blessed, and, you know, I got to reach out to some of the sponsors and say, hey, I'm making a big change in my life right now. But it is what it is. But, you know, obviously, Evinrude's been a big sponsor of mine for 15 years. They're like my best friend. They've paid me lots and lots of money to fish, and that's what I'm going to work for now. So I'm going to switch gears and go to work for Evinrude, who's been a big partner of mine too for 15 plus years now. So, yep.
I need to go find some endorsers to pay me to do interviews.
Absolutely.
That would be ideal.
I'm a pretty good agent. I'm pretty good at negotiating.
Right
So if you need help, you let me know.
Absolutely, Tom. I'm taking you up on that.
Anytime.
Being a husband and a father, how did you find the time to balance the retail, the fishing, and being a parent?
Yep.
To make it all work.
That's a huge challenge. I always try to put my family in front of that. Sometimes I did not, but I always talk to my bosses here at Gander and said, hey, you know, if fishing ever gets to be a problem, I can stop fishing. You're my number one priority is obviously running my business. This company's provided a job for me and my family for 27 plus years now, and I always put that first. But it was hard sometimes when you're juggling a work relationship with a professional work relationship, with a family relationship, with a birthday party or a graduation. I juggled a lot of variables in my lifetime. I sacrificed a lot, but I did it for reasons. You know, I will say I wanted to move up in the industry, and I think I did a pretty good job at it. Absolutely. And, you know, I always tried to put my wife, my kids first, but I did miss a lot. I missed some stuff from my daughters that were pretty brutal over the years by going fishing. All of a sudden, they cancel a tournament. I got to stay for an extra day because of weather day. I have to fish. I have no choice. I miss them. I missed a couple birthday parties I don't think my kids will ever forgive me for. But it is what it is. But now they're going to college and looking at dad for money. So they like me now because we earned some money through the years to get rid of.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Tom, through your fishing career, you have the opportunity to travel the country in fishing in all these different tournaments. What tournament to you has been probably the most challenging to you?
I am blessed. I am so blessed to have seen this water and seen what I've got to. And I'll make a prime example. I grew up fishing Great Lakes. I was a Great Lakes fisherman. It's who I am and what I am. The first time I ever pulled up on the Illinois River, I looked at myself, what did I get myself into? There's this big dirty water river flowing with lots of current. I had no concept of what I was going to do. But, you know, just it evolved. You learned it. You learned a lot, you know. But, you know, we played a lot of weather. We played with cold fronts. We play with traveling long distances, with adapting conditions, trying to hide from your competitors. There's a lot that goes in this whole sport. But, you know, my biggest thing for me is I've changed my gears about 15 years ago. I try not to do what others do. That's been my philosophy for fishing. I've spent a lot of money. If I know that a lot of people are going to fish in this area, I'll just eliminate that area and not try to fish there because I know that's where people are going. I'd really go find something off of my own and do it that way.
Right on.
Yep.
I suppose a lot of those factors come into how you fish and how it's going to turn out for you.
Competition is really good. Yeah. Competition is really good. You know, videos like we're doing right now, YouTube, TV, Al Linder, magazines. They've made fishermen pretty good, pretty fast. The technology is crazy that I've seen change in 25 years. And fishermen are getting good, especially young generations learned how to use all this stuff. They're getting pretty good. But I tell people still, when I do a lot of seminar engagements, you know, try to find something different. If you know everyone's going to go throw crankbaits up on this flat, go somewhere else. Figure something else out by yourself. And if you find it, usually you win. If you can find the thing, that's usually the core to winning. And that's what I've done very good. I've always tried to isolate myself from others and go do something different.
You've graced the waters with many different big names in fishing. Who to you has been the most influential fisherman that you've been on the water with?
If I had to, you know, obviously Al Linder's a legend. Okay. We talked about him earlier. He is truly a legend. I followed every single walleye inside or walleye. Everything he did, I followed. The guy was a genius to come up with what he came up. And I've always followed him. But I've also followed Kevin Van Dam a little bit. He's obviously the best bass fisher that's ever existed on the planet. But if you watch Kevin Van Dam, he runs high energy. He fishes fast, fast, fast. That's what he's known for. That's kind of what I've become now too. I've kind of modeled myself like a guy that fishes fast, moves a lot, try to figure it out, and try to hunt fish instead of wait for fish. He's more of a hunter. I'm a hunter. And I mean by that is I like to hunt fish. I don't wait for them to come to me. I go find them.
Right.
And I learned that philosophy from Kevin Van Dam quite a few years ago, and that's what I've tried to apply all my life. Let's go find him. Let's not wait for him.
Right on. Thinking back through your entire career fishing, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment?
By far, probably 1999 was my biggest deal in my life. I'd never won a tournament. I've been fishing a lot of events as a team tournament. My brother had never won. My brother was my partner. In 1999, I borrowed a boat to fish a PWT on Lake Winnebago. I had just become store manager here. I was making $34,000 a year. I was trying to buy a house. I didn't have a lot of money. I was paying mortgage insurance. I had a lot going on. Just had a baby. There was a lot going on in my life. I went down and fished a Lake Winnebago tournament and won a tournament for $72,000. And when I came back with $72,000, it was like doubling my salary. I came back, we paid off my wife's student debt. We refinanced my house. We did a lot of things I'd always wanted to do.
Right.
And that was by far the biggest win of my life. And I'll never forget as long as I live. I had to catch 8 pounds the last day to win the tournament. I drew an old guy. His name was Gary Betts. I don't know if he's live anymore. Great guy. And I drew him, and he did not ever caught a walleye on a jig in his life. And I taught him how to do it, and he caught 2 and I caught 2. If he doesn't catch those 2 fish, I don't win. I taught Gary Betts, the old guy, how to catch walleyes on a jig, and he caught 2. If he doesn't catch them, I don't win $72,000. I'll never forget that. I did have a little bit of sorrow about it. I remember I'm driving home. I was jacked up. So I had a big trophy and a big check. But I was kind of bummed out because my brother never won a tournament. And he'd been my partner for 10 years. I kind of felt bad the first win. My brother wasn't with me. 13 days later, we fished a big tournament at Green Bay. My brother and the team, and we won. I waited 10 years to win a tournament. I won 2 in 13 days. It's like, who writes that story? Who writes that story? But it was very good to share that with my brother 13 days later. It truly was. And it was awesome. And since then, I've always been good. 2003, I fished the Mississippi River, won $300,000 in a tournament. And you win $300,000 in one tournament. Life changes.
Absolutely.
Life changes. Life got good really fast. When you start doing with 300 grand, you start doing some things. Life gets good and good fast. But no, it's been a great career. I've won a lot of money at it, but I've also enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed what I've done. I've enjoyed the process. I enjoy trying to figure out something that someone else doesn't figure out. That's what really revs me and motivates me.
And you got to enjoy it, because if you're not, why are you doing it?
Yeah, exactly. You think about me, as a retail manager, I usually work 7 days in a row, go fish a tournament for 7 days, and come back and work 7 days in a row. So that's a 21-day window. You don't have a day off when you're grinding. If people think that fishing's fun, they got to come out and see it sometime. It's not so easy when you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night. It's raining, it's hailing, it's snowing, it's windy, it's rough, and you're fishing. You're trying to put it all together. And it's not as easy as people think it is. It's not.
Right. For up-and-comers who want to get into this line of the fishing world, what advice or tips do you give them to make them successful?
I will say 3 things. Always be honest. Don't say anything that's not true, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Don't say anything that's not true. Secondly, you got to go to college. You got to go to college. You got to get a college degree so you can market yourself. You got to be able to sell yourself. That's what fishing's about. And lastly, nothing ever replaces time on the water. The more you fish, I don't care what it is, nothing can replace that. You just don't learn how to adapt and change quickly without spending a lot of time in the water. And I have fished thousands and thousands of hours in my life. And, you learn how to make fast decisions. That's what tournament fishing is about.
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to make fast decisions. But firstly, go get a college education. You got to if you want to get in the sport, you got to market yourself. It's all about who you are and how you can market yourself to sponsors. And sponsors are who get you started.
Right on.
For sure.
Right on. You start a new chapter in your life. You are leaving the retail arena, and you're jumping into a position with one of your sponsors, Evinrude.
Yep.
Talk about that relationship and what this new jump will mean for you.
Honestly, leaving Gander after 27 years was brutal. It was really hard on me. You're one of my friends. We've been friends forever. Cam McCowan, your boss, and we've been friends for 27 years, and a lot of support. And leaving that is terrible, but it's time for a new adventure. I'm 50 years old. I've done retail for 27 and a half years. It's time for a new adventure in my life. I'm going to work for Evinrude, obviously. My job now is to help manufacturers be the link and do better with Evinrude. So I'm going to try to help a manufacturer who's struggling with Evinrude to do better. What can I do to help them? What can I do to support them? Or dealers, if a dealer is having a problem, call me. If a manufacturer needs my help, call me. That's my job. My job is to go work and help Evinrude sell more engines. I've been an affiliate of that company for a long time. My future boss and I have been friends forever. My mentor and I have been friends for eternity. And yes, I'm going to work for two of my really good dear friends, and hope to have Evan some more engines.
Right on. Good story.
Yep.
Tom, is there anything I've left out that maybe you want to add?
My biggest thing would, obviously thank you, thank Kevin, thank all the people above me who supported me forever. I always knew that if I had a problem, especially if I did something wrong with a gun piece of paper, you guys always tried to help me. You guys are always never there to yell at me. You're always there to help me. And that's the same thing. I've had some great bosses. I can go back to Todd Hansen. I can go back to Jeff Koons. I can go back to Joe Herder. Those are some big names.
You're bringing up.
Those were legends. Those were truly legends.
Absolutely.
Gary Hogger.
Yes.
Gary Hogger's the first guy who ever gave me a chance in this life, and he gave me a chance. I took a chance with a 23-year-old kid, and God bless him. And I've been very blessed to work in this company. I'm gonna miss the city of Wausau's customers. They've been so loyal to me. It's crazy. It's crazy how loyal they've been to my building and me. And there was a lot of shock and awe when it came out that I was leaving. But, it's just time for a change. But, I love this company. I think this company's got a big future ahead of them. It's just time for a change for Tom Keenan.
What does the future hold for Tom Keenan? Besides Evinrude, but what else is out there?
Obviously, I think I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in fishing. I've made $1 million in prize money fishing. I've accomplished that. I would like to learn the whole OME part of the business now for Evinrude. And sometime down the road, I got to learn how to relax. I don't have that gene in me right now. I got to learn how to relax. My wife's going to help me with that, hopefully. And, I got one kid done with college, one kid in college, and, down the road, I may be a grandpa, hopefully, in the near future. Not that far off, I'll become a grandpa, and hopefully at that time, teach my grandchildren how to fish. That's my goal, is to teach my grandchildren how to fish, and really enjoy life and not such a fast-paced environment. I don't sleep, I don't rest. I run, and it's time to learn how to gear it down.
Right on. Where can everyone keep up with everything that's going on with you in the fishing world?
Obviously, Facebook's the best way to get a hold of me. Anyone can message me anytime. I've been like a troubleshooter for Hummingbird, Minn Kota, everything in the industry. People have always reached out to me if they're having a problem with something. I've been able to solve it. You can still reach me, even though I don't work here. I don't care. You can call me anytime. That's my job. My job is to help people. And I don't care if it's something I don't even sponsor or relate to. Whatever. I want people to go out and hunt and fish and enjoy the sport. Please support my store. I got a great team here, and obviously I'll be back once in a while to do something here, I'm sure. But just do something different. But the best way to get a hold of me is Facebook Messenger.
Right on. Tom, I'm going to give you the same opportunity that I give every interviewee that I sit down with, and that is a message to MattyRocks listeners. But I also want to include all the employees that you've worked with over the years and all the dedicated customers that you have serviced over the years. What would you like to say to them?
Thank you. Thank you for sure. We listed off some of the names already, but I think about my assistant manager, Scott. He was my assistant for 23 years. Bill Shepke's jersey hangs in the rafters above us right now. He worked with me for 22 years. Gary Tremuth, my gunsmith. You remember Gary?
Yes.
He worked with me for 25 years. First person I ever hired out of college. First person I hired worked with me 25 years. Very dedicated employees. I've had some great ones down the years. Linda works down in Baraboo, yet she worked with me for 20 years. She still works for a company down in Baraboo, the OS. And there's been a lot of people that have been very dedicated to me. Always try to give me their fullest, and in return, I gave them every benefit of the doubt. I tried my hardest to always support them 100%, no matter what it was. It was a question on life, a question on stores, or whatever. Because I'm raising a kid, I've always tried to give that advice and try to be a father figure, especially for a bunch of young kids at work. Thank you very much for all the dedication.
Right on. Tom, thanks again for taking the time to sit with me today. Yep. This was truly an honor and an interview that I'm so glad I had the opportunity to do with you. Continued success to everything you've got going on in your next chapter with Evinrude and all of your fishing career going forward. Thanks again.
Both ways, buddy.
Had a pleasure.
You've been off both ways. You've helped me a lot over the years in my job, and I appreciate everything you did for me.
Thanks again, Tom.
You bet.
MattyRocks and Tom Keenan closing it out.